All right, so here is how you edit this. And yes, you do have to do the math toolbox. It's really not difficult. So first things first, you're going to go ahead and click on this picture. And you can't see it yet, so I got to scroll down a little bit. But I click on the picture and I hit my edit button. Okay, so let's talk about this math problem. It says relationship is in an energy pyramid. In a small forest ecosystem, caterpillars, little bitty caterpillars, eat plants. The Carolina wren eats caterpillars. If you didn't know it, a Carolina wren is a bird. And black rat snakes eat wrens. Suppose that the plants contain 550,000 kilocalories. Okay, so this pyramid right here is the exact same as what you just looked at right above, where they gave you all of the information. Now you have to try to do some of the math. And remember that every time you move up a level, when you go from the producers up a level to that first level consumers, up to that second level consumers, all the way up to that third, sometimes we call that a tertiary. That's kind of a fun word. A tertiary consumer or third level consumer, we lose 10%. And that 10% loss is because that animal used up that energy, whether it be for growth, whether it be for survival, running around, trying to capture food, trying to hide out, whether it be for reproduction, whether it be for maintenance, taking care of its own body. It uses some of its own energy. So that stored energy gets stored within the animal by its use. And then only 10% gets to move on to that next level of consumption. So you have this loss of energy. It's not loss, it just gets used in other forms. So let's look at the math here. If we start off with 550,000 kilocalories, we know only 10% can move up to the next level. Well, here's the math that's already done for you. 550,000 kilocalories times by 0.1. If you've forgotten how to do percentages, 0.1 is the same thing as 10%. So we're multiplying it by 10% to find out how much is actually getting to move up to that first level of consumer. So if these are the plants and our little caterpillars are eating the plants, they're only going to get 55,000 kilocalories from those plants. Okay, so that's our caterpillar right here. He's got 55,000 kilocalories, which means that the little birdie, the Carolina wren that eats the caterpillar, only gets 10% of this, because that's all this little buggy has. He only has 55,000 kilocalories. So the wren, the bird, only gets 10% of this. So here's our math we're going to do for that. 55,000 kilocalories times by 0.1, which is the same thing as saying 10%, equals, you do the math, guys. You can do this. 55,000 times by 0.1. If your brain is like not working, you can use a calculator. Number two, you can just move your decimal place. You move it over one spot. So you shift those zeros over. If you're really stuck, you can email me and I'll walk you through it, but I bet you can figure this out. You're going to take this total. That is the amount of energy that is left inside of our little birdies that a snake could eat. So we know that the black rat snake is going to eat the Carolina wren, and only 10% of that energy can move up to this guy. So how do we set up that math? Well, you're going to click right in here and you can start typing right away directly into this. So I take this total, which I already typed, right? I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to make sure my cursor is in the right spot. And if you make any mistakes, hit the undo button. It'll go back to the way it was. Calm down. You'll be okay. So you type in your answer there. Whatever this answer is, you're going to plug it in right here. Okay? You're going to type in that answer, and then you're going to multiply it by 0.1, that's 10%, and then you're going to find how many calories are available inside of that snake. And it's as simple as that. You're just doing some basic math with finding 10%, okay? Hopefully you got this, and let me know if you have questions.